Jonathan Wasserman, the NBA's top scout and editor of the Bleacher Report draft, recently released his latest list of the top 50 players in the NBA draft. Former Syracuse basketball star Elijah Hughes, who has received some first-round draft projections in recent times, is ranked 44th among the top 50 players. Hughes is a talented and versatile forward who led the Atlantic Coast Conference in scoring during the 2019-20 season in his redshirt junior term. Not only did he do well in producing points, but he also performed very well in the 2 assists per game, as well as in rebounds. Wasserman said about Hughes in his article, Hughes' 4 points per game out of isolation ranked number 4 in the country, but he also ranked in the 85th percentile with no points. He's a versatile scorer and shot putter, but given his green light in Syracuse and low percentage shot selection, he may have difficulty adapting to a supporting role in the NBA. But unlike other times when I rely on authoritative professional opinions, this time I have to say I disagree with Wasserman. I'm pretty sure Hughes can thrive in the professional ranks. I'll try to explain it to you. Knowing that the NBA draft is scheduled for mid-October unless something strange happens, Hughes will almost certainly hear his name. It's more a question of whether or not he will be chosen in the first round, but it will happen. Not long ago, Jason McIntyre at FoxSports.com placed the 6'6" wing in 29th place in the first round of the 2020 NBA draft, and the Los Angeles Lakers chose Hughes. That would be fun since the Lakers have superstars LeBron James and Anthony Davis, as well as former Q's player Dion Waiters. In another recent mock draft, Kyle Boone of CBS Sports made Hughes number 27 in the first round. The Toronto Raptors chose him. In other words, no one leaves out Hughes' name to speculate on the odds, and that means a lot. It's just that he's a player whose offensive approach seems to be built into the current NBA. More than half of his shooting attempts in his 2 seasons at Syracuse were from the 3-point range. When you look at his highlights tape, it's almost exclusively 3-point attempts and dunks. And even though he's just finished his junior season, Hughes is already 22. He began his college career in East Carolina and had to take a year off before playing his last 2 seasons for Syracuse. Hughes has a deep range on his 3-point shots and can make them in several ways. With the ball in his hands, he will stop and rise above the defenders. He's excellent at hitting triples in transition and is particularly adept at making his defender lose his balance with the jab and then step back to hit a 3-point. He understands the value of letting long 2-point shots pass in favor of 3-point shots. He shot 35% from the 3-point range in his 2 seasons at Syracuse, which may not sound as impressive, but there was often a high degree of difficulty on those shots. If he shoots more 3-point open catch and shoots in the NBA, he has a chance to be an above-average 3-point shooter. Good free throw shooters often translate into NBA 3-point shooters, and Hughes shot 81.3% from the charity line this season. He's also an excellent cutter, which led to a lot of easy baskets in the Syracuse system. He knows how to play his defender and when to cut through the back door. On the defensive side of the court, Hughes shows impressive timing on the weak side shot blocks. Averaging almost 1 block per game is excellent for a wing player. Problems were seen when, out of necessity, Hughes often played as a forward in Syracuse, a role he did not play to his strengths. He's a decent passer, but he often makes bad decisions, trying to force passes that weren't there and committing unnecessary ball loss. His ball handling ability is adequate for a wing, but at this stage, he's not the type of guy you want running pick and roll in the NBA. Hughes is a sly finisher in the lane, but he still had major problems scoring on the inside against long, athletic defenders. He only shot 50.8% on 2-point field shots this season, a low number considering most of those attempts occurred on the rim. On the defensive side, Hughes will have to prove he can score in man-to-man situations after playing almost exclusively in the 2-3 zone at Syracuse. He is certainly a good athlete, but not a special athlete on the next level. He is a challenging prospect to make predictions because his role in the NBA will be completely different than what he showed in college. I'm intrigued by how he looks with NBA players giving him open shots. Hughes had to do a lot of things on his own in Syracuse. Now he should have the opportunity to play a role that enhances his strengths and limits his weaknesses. There are enough questions for Hughes to move on to the second round. If he's still on the board when the Sixers select in the 34th or 36th place, it would make sense to try and tap into his offensive potential. If he proves to be a below-average defender, guys like Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle can help take over. The Sixers still need shooters, and Hughes could help in that regard. Indeed, Hughes' age will also play against him on draft night. Some of the other players in this draft are 3 or 4 years younger than him, possibly with a greater advantage. But beyond accurate speculation, as I said, there is too much talk about this player to leave him there without being taken advantage of. And if I were you, I would prepare myself to make his name sound stronger and stronger in your ears, because these things don't just happen. There is a talent in there that provokes it.